What if I told you that your silence could win wars and save empires? That by simply closing your mouth, you could double your power, double your control, and walk into any room like a loaded weapon? Most people don't understand this. They think power is loud. They think dominance comes from shouting, explaining, performing. But the truth? The most dangerous man in the room is the one who doesn't speak. He listens. He observes. He calculates. Then he strikes. This isn't motivation. This is psychological warfare. This is your mental weaponry. Every word you speak is a bullet you can never retrieve. Every opinion you offer is a position surrendered. In a world addicted to noise, silence is nuclear. It confuses enemies. It terrifies weak minds. And it turns you into a mystery no one dares to challenge. You've wasted years talking when you should have disappeared. You try to prove your worth in debates with fools. You've justified yourself to people beneath your mission. You've confessed your dreams to snakes who only wanted to watch you fall. Enough. Today, that version of you dies. Today, you become a different animal. One that speaks only when it's lethal. From this day forward, you stay silent in these 9 battlegrounds. And you watch the world fold to your silence. Because when silence becomes your strategy, power becomes your destiny. Most people bleed power through their mouths. They don't even realize it. Every sentence they speak, every thought they blurt, every emotional outburst, they're leaking power like a slashed artery. They speak because they crave validation. They explain because they want to be understood. They defend their honor like wounded children. But the truth? Every time you speak without purpose, you shrink. You shrink in their eyes. You shrink in your own. You hand over your edge for nothing but a fleeting moment of comfort. You've seen it. Maybe you've done it. Someone insults you, and you bite back instantly, as if defending yourself with words somehow restores your dignity. But it doesn't. It reveals your weakness. It exposes your need for approval. It shows you're reactive, not strategic. You lose leverage. You give away your game. You reveal your cards before the deal even starts. That's not power. That's desperation. And the world sees it. The people you argue with, they now know how to push your buttons. The people you explain yourself to, they sense your insecurity. The people you try to convince, they don't respect you more. They respect you less. Because real power doesn't explain. Real power doesn't react. Real power observes. Real power calculates. Then, if necessary, it strikes. But most people will never get it. Why? Because they've been brainwashed. Brainwashed by a soft world that teaches, speak your truth. Express yourself. Don't bottle it up. That's nonsense. That's civilian advice. You're not here to be understood. You're here to build empires, wage silent wars, and control your battlefield. And for that, silence is your sharpest sword. You've been taught that silence is weakness. But Machiavelli knew is the armor of kings, is the language of rulers, of masterminds, of assassins. When you stay silent, they wonder. When you speak, they measure. But when you say nothing, they fear you, because they don't know where you stand or when you'll move. So ask yourself, how many times have you given away power just to feel heard? How many times have you killed your mystique trying to be liked? If you're honest, the answer is too many. But that ends now. From here forward, your silence will become your shield. Your silence will become your weapon. And in that silence, you'll find the power they never saw coming. Silence is not emptiness. It's not absence. It's not weakness. Silence is loaded. It's locked. It's ready. It is not the lack of voice. It is the presence of control. Strategic silence is a choice, a calculated move, a masterstroke in a game most people don't even know they're playing. While others speak to fill the void, you stay still to expand your power. While they chatter, you listen. While they reveal, you observe. Because in this war of minds, the one who speaks less always sees more. Look to the architects of power and you'll see the same pattern. They moved in silence. Machiavelli didn't scream to the public. He whispered behind palace walls and reshaped entire empires. His words were daggers, not declarations. He understood. Power is in perception, and perception is manipulated best when you control what's revealed. Napoleon Bonaparte, one of history's greatest generals, never boasted before he struck. His silence before an invasion was more feared than his artillery. His troops moved quietly, his intentions hidden, and when he acted, it was already too late for his enemies to react. Nikola Tesla, the man who built the future, didn't waste his breath on validation. He spoke little, but built loud. His invention screamed what his voice never had to. The lesson is simple. If you want your life to make noise, you must be silent while building it. You must let your silence do the preparation and let your results do the talking. You must rewire your brain to see silence not as retreat, but as reconnaissance. You're not falling back. You're gathering data. You're mapping the field. You're watching how they move, how they talk, how they reveal themselves, while revealing nothing of your own. Your silence is the drone overhead, the sniper on the ridge, the intelligence before the strike. You don't owe them your thoughts. You don't owe them your plans. You owe them nothing until it's too late for them to respond. Every time you speak prematurely, you give away your strategic position. But when you withhold, when you let them wonder, when you let them guess, you become a riddle, and riddles rule rooms. Don't explain your dreams. Build them. Don't announce your goals. Execute them. Don't tell them how you feel. Let your absence haunt them. Stop answering every challenge. Stop defending every choice. You were not born to be understood. You were born to be felt and feared. From this moment on, you will use silence like a weapon. In every conversation, every room, every decision, you will pause. You will measure. You will restrain. Because the man who controls his tongue controls the outcome. And the man who speaks only when the silence is deafening, he owns the room. Let others scream. You strategize. Let others react. You calculate. Let others explain. You move in silence. And when you do speak, let it shake foundations. Speak less. Win more. That is the law. Every warrior needs a code. These are your 9 battlegrounds, where silence is not just smart, it's lethal. Speak in these situations, and you bleed power. Stay silent, and you build a fortress no one can breach. Situation 1. When you're being provoked. They want a reaction. That's their game. They poke. They prod. They push buttons just to watch you explode. But you don't explode. You don't react. You go silent. Why? Because silence is not surrender. It's the position of the sniper. Still, focused, waiting. They expect a scream. Give them silence. Let it burn them from the inside. Let it echo louder than any insult you could hurl. When you don't give them what they crave, they spiral. They lose their power. And you walk away untouched, because real warriors don't flinch at childish games. They watch, and they wait. Then they strike, only when it matters. Situation 2. When you're building. Builders don't scream while laying brick. They don't post selfies with blueprints. Real builders build in shadows. You don't talk about the empire. You construct it. Quietly. Ruthlessly. Every time you speak of a goal before it's done, you drain the fuel that should have gone into execution. You open the door to doubt, envy, sabotage. But when you build in silence, there's nothing to attack. No one knows what's coming. No one can stop what they can't see. So you keep your mouth shut. You disappear into your mission. And when you return, you bring the results. No announcement. No explanation. Just victory. Situation 3. During arguments with fools. A fool drags you into the mud. He baits you with nonsense. He wants you emotional, loud, sloppy. But you're smarter. You don't wrestle pigs. You get dirty, and they enjoy it. So you choose the high ground. You let their madness echo unanswered. Why? Because silence exposes their chaos. When they yell, and you remain still, the room sees the difference. You become the storm's eye, calm, powerful, unshaken. And they become noise, background static. Fools collapse under their own noise. Let them. Your silence turns their insult into embarrassment. Your restraint makes them irrelevant. Situation 4. When plans are still hatching. Your vision is sacred. Your goals are blueprints not yet built. But speak too soon, and the spell breaks. The magic dissolves. People insert doubt, questions, jealousy, and your momentum dies. So protect it, guard it, lock it behind silence. Your plan doesn't need applause before it breathes. Let it grow in darkness. Let it gain strength before it faces the world. Reveal only when the structure stands, not while it's scaffolding. Strategy demands silence. You don't pull the sword out of the sheath to show it's sharp. You wait until it's needed. So keep building, keep planning, and keep your mouth shut. Situation 5. When they apologize with lies. Some apologies are weapons. Manipulation in disguise. Crocodile tears. Hollow words. They lie again, with the word sorry in front. Don't feed them with forgiveness they haven't earned. Let your silence be the verdict. Not anger, not screaming, just absence. Because silence says, I see through you. Silence says, you don't deserve my energy. Let them feel the distance. Let them choke on the quiet. Actions speak, and so does silence. When you don't reply, you become their guilt. Their punishment is your withdrawal. No arguments, no cloche, just the cold, hard absence of your presence. Situation 6. When you're observing. Observation is power. Listening is intelligence. While others fill the room with noise, you gather data. You spot weaknesses. You track patterns. You read intentions. Because the man who listens sees what the loudest never will. He becomes the one with the map, while everyone else stumbles blind. The loudest man in the room is blind, drunk on his own voice. But the quiet one, he sees everything. So don't rush to speak. Hold back. Study. When you do talk, it will land like a hammer, not a whisper. Until then, silence is your surveillance drone. Use it wisely. Situation 7. When they undervalue you. They don't see your worth? Perfect. Stay quiet. Disappear. Withdraw your presence, your energy, your availability. Don't argue your value. Prove it in absence. When you go silent, they're forced to face the void. And in that void, they realize what you were. Don't beg to be seen. That's weakness. That's desperation. Become a ghost and let regret haunt them. Your silence will echo louder than any resume, any plea, any pitch. And when they finally come looking, don't rush back. Power means never chasing validation. Power is knowing what you bring and walking away without noise. Situation 8. When you're betrayed. The deepest cuts come from the people closest to you. And when you're betrayed, the urge is to rage, confront, scream. But that's what they expect. That's what they're prepared for. Instead, vanish. Let silence become your storm. Let them wonder what you'll do, when you'll strike, if you'll forgive. Let your stillness become fear in their bones. Because revenge is best served cold and quiet. Don't tell them you're done. Be done. No farewell. No drama. Just a void where your loyalty used to be. Let your absence become the lesson. No cloche. No peace. Just the silence of someone who once protected them and now doesn't. Situation 9. When you're winning. Winners don't announce. Lions don't roar while hunting. They strike in silence. You're winning? Good. Say nothing. Let the results speak. Let your progress leak out slowly, through action, not bragging. Bragging invites envy. Victory invites respect. Speak too loudly, and you wake enemies. You invite sabotage, but when you keep winning quietly, you confuse them. They can't stop what they can't predict. They can't block what they don't see. Let your silence make them nervous. Let your achievements scream in silence. Be the storm they didn't see coming. The quiet before the collapse. Walk like you've already conquered, but say nothing. You don't become powerful by accident. You build it. You program it. You install it, one silent habit at a time. Every morning, every decision, every word you don't speak. Silence becomes your foundation, your fortress, your edge. And it begins the moment you wake up. Pillar 1, morning mental fortification. From the second you open your eyes, don't speak. Don't check your phone. Don't start reacting to the world. You haven't earned that right yet. Instead, enter your morning in absolute silence. Let your first act be stillness. Think, reflect, plan, write, meditate, breathe. Your voice is a weapon, and no warrior brings a loaded gun to the battlefield without checking it first. So don't speak until your mind is prepared. Silence first, voice second. That's how you anchor control. That's how you make the world respond to you, instead of the other way around. Pillar 2, physical discipline. You train your body the same way you train your tongue. In silence. No social media updates. No validation loops. No applause seeking. Run without stories. Lift without sharing. Sweat without spectators. Let your discipline be private, brutal, and silent. The gym doesn't care about your caption. The grind doesn't need a witness. What it needs is consistency, without distraction, without noise. Because when you train without needing to be seen, you unlock a level of power most never touch. You're not performing. You're becoming. And that becoming happens in the dark. Pillar 3, strategic communication. Every time you open your mouth, ask one question. Does this build my empire or weaken it? If the answer is unclear, don't speak. If it doesn't build your mission, reinforce your vision, or drive your discipline, remain silent. You don't need to comment on everything. You don't need to reply to every message. You don't need to clarify for people who can't comprehend your level. Speak with intention. Speak with precision. Speak when silence is no longer enough. And when you speak, speak like a leader, not a follower. No negociables. No gossip. No defense. No justifying. Ever. If someone doubts you, let them. If someone slanders you, ignore them. If someone misjudges you, let them speak to your silence. You don't explain yourself to those beneath your mission. You don't clarify your vision to the blind. Your job is not to convince, it's to conquer. The more you justify, the more power you give away. So don't. Stay on your path. Let silence handle the noise. These aren't just habits. They're laws, rituals for the elite, protocols for the disciplined. You don't install them once, you install them daily. Until they become instinct. Until your silence becomes part of your identity. Until every word you don't say becomes a brick in the empire you're building. And when that day comes, you'll realize the loudest thing about you is your silence. Look ahead, 30 days from now, a month of discipline, a month of strategic silence, a month of denying your old habits, your old need to explain, react, overtalk, overexpose. 1 month from now, they won't recognize you. Your stillness will speak louder than your old noise ever did. People will look at you differently, not because of what you said, but because of what you didn't. The energy shifts when you stop giving away your thoughts like candy. The room changes when you become unreadable, untouchable, unstoppable. This is not about becoming cold. It's about becoming calculated. You're not building distance. You're building dominance. You're not avoiding confrontation. You're mastering it. Because when you stop reacting and start observing, you evolve. You become less human and more weapon. Less chatter and more chess. A man who doesn't rush to speak becomes the one they watch, the one they fear, the one they cannot predict or control. You become the mystery in the meeting, the silence before the storm, the force behind the curtain. People will start asking, what's he thinking? And they won't find the answer. That's power, not volume, not rage, but precision, restraint, control. Repeat after me. I speak when it's lethal. I act when it's final. I'm not noise. I am force. I am silent. And I am dangerous. Let those words burn into your nervous system. Let that become your law. Because from this point forward, your silence is not passive. It is weaponized. They gave you a voice. You turned it into a sword. But now, you master the art of the invisible blade. Quiet, clean, deadly. You. Yes, you. Don't scroll. Don't save this for later. Later is for the weak. Later is the lie that keeps you average. Begin now. Cut the noise. Shut your mouth. Open your eyes. Sharpen your strategy. Every moment from now forward is a chance to dominate the room without saying a word. Observe. Build. Attack. But only when it's time. No signals. No announcements. Only results. Because only the quiet become legends. Only the unreadable are unstoppable. Only the silent win wars no one knew they were fighting. Speak less. Dominate more. That is the way. That is the law. Now live it.